Long before Donald Trump became president, Mar-a-Lago almost became the winter White House. Let me tell you about how that almost happened. So we have to take it back to 1973. Marjorie Merriweather Post was the heiress to the Post cereal empire. Post cereal, you'll know, Raisin Bran, shredded wheat, some of the biggest cereals that we know in the US, North America. So she owns Mar-a-Lago. Her family owned it. She had these grand receptions there, old-time, classic old money in the United States. Now, Marjorie Merriweather Post was very well-versed in the political scene in Washington. Her fourth husband was around politics, around Washington, and she knew the affairs of government and how that worked. So she left in her final years, she wrote up her will and left Mar-a-Lago to the U.S. government to be used as a place for presidents to go, a sort of refuge to host diplomatic leaders in a nice subtropical climate. And she died in 1973, and Mar-a-Lago became the property of the United States government. Richard Nixon had a house in a Miami suburb, and he would visit very often. And one day when he was in Florida in 1974, July 7th, 1974, 1 month plus a day before he resigned in August 1974, Richard Nixon took a helicopter ride from his suburb in Miami up to Palm Beach, where Mar-a-Lago was, to inspect it, to sort of have this idea of potentially turning it into a winter refuge, a winter White House, which is funny because that's how Trump uses it now. Now, as I mentioned, Richard Nixon resigned a month later, and subsequent presidents didn't follow through with this. So in 1981, the US government returned Mar-a-Lago to the Post Foundation because it was just costing them way too much in maintenance costs to continue owning it. In 1985, Donald Trump went in, bought Mar-a-Lago, turned it into his resort now where he goes and plays golf and spends a lot of time. As we now know, it is a sort of winter White House. He spends a lot of time there, has done a lot of diplomatic receptions there. So I guess what Marjorie Merriweather Post envisioned for Mar-a-Lago back in the 70s has eventually come to fruition over 50 years later.